When doing part 3, I completely forgot to mention one service, and I'll mention it now. 383, which was just like 373 from Sengkang. 383 is from Punggol. I mean, was supposed to be from Punggol, but it was a rejected bus service. It serves between Punggol Coast and Punggol Interchange via 117's extended route currently. So this was supposed to be a bus service, but then they decided not to do this and instead just send 117 to Punggol Coast instead. And thankfully that actually happened. And I also forgot to mention these bus services. So they are called CityShoppers, and then this one originated from Tampines, this one from Tampines, this one from West Coast, like Teban Garden, this one from Punggol, this one from Sengkang. I mean, these are all their residential sectors. This one from Bedok South and North. This one from Ang Mo Kio slash Yio Chu Kang. When I mean Yio Chu Kang, I mean like Ang Mo Kio Avenue 9. And then this one is from Hougang. And then, from what I can remember, the Bedok South one and 576 for both bounds, like towards the shopping district and towards the residential areas, 575, 576, they serve the same bus stop. So I forgot how they denoted it, but they had these like red white plates, just like 123, 123M, 131, that kind of like. They should have something like this. So yeah, these are the ones I forgot to mention. They are called CityShoppers. And for some reason, I keep forgetting about them when I make all these like so-called compilation videos. So in essence, the CityShoppers, they have like the same pattern. So except 580. So 580 is basically you can search the wikis for their exact routes, but it was like Patterson Road, if I'm not mistaken, and then Orchard, and then Temasek Boulevard, Temasek Avenue, and then this thing would use Republic Boulevard to ECP, and then back to Teban Garden. But the rest of the CityShoppers, they followed this trend. So this trend meaning it's like CTE, and then they would exit via Momin Road, Momin, Newton, Scots, and then the first stop would be at Far East Plaza. The next stop would be at Meritus Mandarin Hotel, and then bus stop 8, which is Orchard Central, and then bus stop 2, which is McDonald House after Adobe Got Station. So they would call these stops, they would call Bras Basah, and then they would go on to Temasek Boulevard. And I think 575, 576, and 579, they would go to Temasek Avenue and then Republic Boulevard and then to ECP. The rest of them, 551, 577, 578, 581, they would go via Temasek Boulevard to Rocha Road, Bukit Timah Road, and then back to CTE. So that's how a CityShopper works. And then there's also going to be a CityShopper revival concept with the new Punggol North CDS. For now, it's going to be weekday. I don't know if they have intentions to extend it to weekends as well, but it's going to function as something like 14E, kind of like CityShopper revival, but only peak hours. So yeah, it's not really even a true CityShopper in that sense, but yeah, that's what they call it apparently. Before I actually move on to today's video, I also want to address something. When when you say cross depot, for example, it's probably like SBS, a Sunli bus park bus being pulled over to do like, let's say, a Hougang bus service, and it's not like partial SL, partial H Hougang control or anything. It's like two completely unrelated depots, maybe like Ayer Rajah Bus Park as well. Cross depot does not refer to interchangeable depots like UP/BB. I mean, back then it was like Ayer Rajah/BB, or Brattle Bus Park and Ang Mo Kio Bus Depot, or Woodlands Bus Park/Woodlands Depot. These are not what you call cross depot. They are just interchangeable depots. So I want people to be confused about the definition of cross depot, because I have seen a lot of YouTubers like falsely clickbaiting using this kind of like caption, this kind of title saying putting cross depot. Da, 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 da. That's not how cross depot works. It has to be two completely unrelated depots that are non-interchangeable. And speaking of all of these, I don't know why is it that like when I don't mention that stupid green operator, everybody's gonna be trying to act smart in the comments saying that, oh my god, this bus service belongs to this operator. Please change your title. You know, these people, like, you guys just proved that, like, Singapore bus enthusiasts cannot take a joke. It's not that I'm offended or anything, but it's like, I literally put there, you guys know that, like, it's satire, and then you guys still comment this. I'm like, what the maybe at this point I should just accept the fact that whenever I do a history video, there will always be some idiot in the comment that has to mention that stupid green operator, or even gassy. Even when my video is like clearly talking about PTC control, and these idiots still have to bring in BCM, like they just have to apply it to everything. It's like, I get it, some people are neurodivergent and then they memorize in a robotic manner. It's like they have tendencies too, and when you tell them about history, like one part changes, they will literally laundry list the entire thing down without much thought and just regurgitate, follow the history down to the fine details like textbook, just copy and paste. So even though my video is about PTC control, they keep bringing in stuff about BCM that I'm not even interested in talking about. I don't understand what is their fetish with BCM or BCM introduced bus operators. It's more of like, can I please just go one day without anyone mentioning that green operator in my face? Thank you. And it's also the same people, despite me polling my viewers, they still insist that Trans-Island Bus Services and SMRT, as well as like SSB, CSS, they all have to be separated. No, they're the same goddamn thing. Tips is SMRT, okay. I know they're different companies by name, but in essence, it's the exact same thing. So I don't understand why people have to like separate things into like SBS transit era, even though there's nothing wrong with it, but it's like, if you guys don't even give a shit about SBS and SBS transit being different, why are you suddenly giving a shit about Trans Island and SMRT? And then it's like, they're really stubborn about it. It's like, no, I am talking about TIPS era. I am talking about SMRT era, even though both of them are literally the same entity. I would never understand them. Like, I just want Singapore bus enthusiasts to stop being so rigid, you know? Because I didn't tell you to laundry list things. I'm trying to bring history and make it a bit more fun and exciting. I'm not here to tell you guys to memorize a textbook, because I don't either. So basically this video is actually, I did this entire 4-part series because of all these people actually, so I'm like, okay, fine. And also because like Singapore's government propaganda, they won't even tell you like how the bus services actually changed over time. They would just regurgitate the same textbook bullshit about like, oh, this service got integrated with that service, and then they would just copy and paste. And that's not what I want to do. So let's get into today's video. Now this is the final part of today's video. So save the best for last, I guess. This is all the services that were introduced by Tips with a few exceptions, but yeah. Because technically this one didn't start with Tips. It was like SBS 372 in Marceling. So the earliest version of 800 is apparently they say it's Yishun Avenue 5 terminal to Yishun Avenue 7. Now I can assume that the route is like pretty much the same as like the present day version of 800. Maybe it's missing the Yishun Ring Road Tro or something, but yeah, I don't think my bus guides. I don't think I can prove this using bus guides or anything because I don't have access to like the 1984. I don't think I have that version, and even if it's inside, when these bus services, their amendments only last like a couple of months. Usually, they wouldn't be detected in like the bus guides anyway. So yeah, I think 800 over the course of history, it didn't really change. Okay, but then there was this old 801, and the old 801 is basically a square. When I mean a square, I literally mean a square. Like Yishun Avenue 5 terminal, right? Yishun Avenue 2, Yishun Avenue 7, Sembawang Road, and 5. Like literally a square. And this kind of square route, it's what gives 811 its current route, like the way it loops. It's all because 801 was a square, like this entire square. Okay, now the old, not the one that's going to be introduced, the old 802 and 803, both of them are the two halves of 812. And apparently this one is also like what, Yishun Avenue 5 terminal. So 802 in the past, it didn't really have this like Yishun Central 1, Yishun Avenue 2, Yishun Ring Road Tro. I think it was just like Yishun Avenue 5 terminal and then to Yishun Ring Road immediately. So 802 is basically the western half of 812, and then the old 803 just happens to be the eastern half of 812, and then they didn't really like change over time or anything. And then 804, this thing, the route was like Yishun Central 1, Yishun Avenue 2, Yishun Ring Road. In the past, 8 U-turn. I think slightly after Yishun Avenue 11 or something along those lines. I think that was when Yishun Ring Road wasn't like fully developed or anything. And then it got extended to Yishun Street 41, Avenue 1, Avenue 6, and then 11. So it was just an extension. And then there was Singapore's very first feeder express service. No, not 298X. That is in terms of branding, maybe, but conceptually, it was not the first. The first feeder express bus service is, I've said this many times, it's 804A. And the purpose of 804A is basically to offer people, okay, I know this one isn't really to scale or anything, but it's basically so that people could get from Yishun Ring Road. Okay, so it's like Central Avenue 11, Yishun Ring Road, Avenue 9, like this. It's like an anti-clockwise loop. So the whole purpose of this express feeder, it doesn't really skip stops or anything. This is just another variation of 804 in the past. So it allows quick access to Yishun Ring Road without trolling through this sector. And it's also along this side of the road, so you don't have to cross the road. And then 804A also allows you to get from Yishun Ring Road to Yishun Interchange Fast, because back then there was no such thing as like 807 or 860. So this was the only thing that avoided the Yishun Ring Road and Yishun Avenue to troll. And obviously over time, this one eventually became the present day 806. And of course the route, it changed. So now it kept this part, and now it loops at Avenue 6, Street 31, and Yishun Ring Road. So yeah. So it was actually kind of a major change. The old 805 was literally just the southern half of 811. So yeah, I don't really have anything much to say about this. This one I don't think the route ever changed. So yeah, 811 and 812, the routes also never change. It's just 811 getting kicked out of Yishun, so now it calls outside Yishun Avenue 2 instead of like going inside the interchange. So yeah, like from the north loop to the south loop. So yeah, I don't really have anything to elaborate on that. The next one is 825. When I talk about 825, not many people know the full history of this service. Because at first it was Yishun Avenue 2, at Central 1 Avenue 2, Yishun Avenue 1. There was actually a bus service before 656 was a thing. And then it goes to Sembawang, Springleaf, Springside Estate. And then it goes on to Sembawang Road, Springside, Springleaf, Upper Thompson Road, Yio Chu Kang Road, goes inside Lenter, and then goes inside Lenter, and then goes to Yio Chu Kang. So Lenter was like both directions. And this thing just kept getting cut. So it got cut so that there was no more Yishun. There was just like to Springleaf and Springside. Got cut again to become the present day 825. That's kind of sad actually, but it also shows that this area just doesn't have like high population density, and that's why you don't really need this kind of like bus service. You already have like other bus services outside that actually take you to different places, because 825 is hub spoke. Now this one, not this, I mean 850 slash hex. I've talked about this before. This 850 was the reason for the present day 167's route existing, 851 existing, as well as the existence of 961 hex. Because as I told you, before 961, I talked about this in the previous videos, but the only reason why 961 hex was a thing, it was because it's to inherit the loss of 850 hex. Yeah, I know 850 hex, it goes from Esplanade Drive to Suntec in both, and then from Beach Road to Suntec as well. Sorry, from Orchard Road, Bras Basah to Suntec as well. So the hex part, which is Raffles Boulevard and Raffles Avenue, got kept, and then 961 comes in from like Hill Street area, and then there's also St. Andrew's Cathedral for like the Woodlands bound, and then Beach Road. So the ends of the route, they have changed. Like this is 961, and then this is 850. This is 850. They have definitely changed. But the reason why Raffles Boulevard, Raffles Avenue even stayed from 961 Hex is because it just took over from 850 Hex. And obviously this was after 181 got renumbered to 961. And then they gained like over time it became 961C, then M. So yeah. And as I told you, 851 is a new route. The route pretty much never changed throughout the course of history. 167 I've already explained in like the previous few videos, but 850 slash hex, conceptually it was basically just from Bukit Merah 167 and then up till Marymount you follow 851 up. So that was what 850 as a service was. 851 was literally introduced just to compensate the loss of 850, except that it doesn't go Orchard Road, it goes to KK Hospital, Bugis, Chinatown, and yeah, Tiong Bahru, Henderson. I pretty much explained 851 already, so yeah. And being a zero, it goes to CBD. So yeah, this one followed the pattern back then. Now let's go to 852. 852, the longest it has ever been. Okay, by the way, there were plans to completely withdraw 852. I think now they gave up on it and they just let it be. But at one point in time, it was Boon Lay to Yishun. So the route exactly the same, and then from here to Boon Lay, how do I put it? It's like, okay, from Bukit Batok, right? You copy like, let's say 178 out, and then you copy 180. So that was legit 852's route in the past. And you would soon notice that a lot of the 85 something bus services, they never really changed throughout the course of history. Okay, maybe this one, it did have one minor change. It was like Yishun Avenue 2 to Yishun Central 1, right? And then it became like Yishun Central 2. Wait, actually, I kind of forgot the route. Yishun Central 2 and then Yishun Central 1. So it would like loop around, and then there was a back exit back then. So yeah. And then this kind of thing stuck with 853 throughout the course of history. This one, again, never changed the route. It was just Yishun Bedok, that's all. This one also never changed its route. Has always been Yishun to Harbourfront. The only change is basically just Lornie Highway, that's all. This one did have some changes actually. Uh, it used to be like what? Unfortunately, I forgot. My memory's a little bit fuzzy right now, but correct me if I'm wrong. This thing actually used Yishun Avenue 3 in the past, so it was like Central 1, Avenue 2, Avenue 3, Sembawang Road, and then it goes to Sembawang Road. I mean, here, then here. So like this, Admiralty Road East, Admiralty Road West. And then I forgot if it went inside Senoko last time, but it terminated at like Woodlands Center Road, that bus terminal. And eventually the route changed so that it's now Yishun Avenue 5, and then it's now straight up. The oldest variation of 857 was literally just Yishun Central 1, Yishun Avenue 2, Canberra, Link, Sembawang Road, and Sembawang Road East. Sorry, Sembawang Road, Admiralty Road East, Admiralty Road West terminate. And then this sector, obviously, it was absorbed into 169. Then the present day 857 never really changed. Well, there was one change from just Lentor Avenue to SLE and CTE. There was this minor change to serve Yio Chu Kang Road because there are lots of industry. It's like a small industrial estate at near Ang Mo Kio Depot. So yeah. Now for this one, which started off as Woodlands to Yishun. The one big misconception is that this thing has always been Woodlands to Changi Airport. No, that's wrong. So the earliest version of the route was actually Woodlands Interchange. Yeah, Avenue 4, Avenue 9, Gambas all the way. Gambas all the way to Sembawang Road, Yishun Avenue 3, 2, and Central 1. Then obviously, when it got extended to Changi Airport, 5, it used 5 instead, and then, yeah, towards Changi Airport. And then, for a period of time, it has always been like Gambas Avenue, Sembawang Road, right? Then it got amended to Sembawang, because Sembawang Way, the bridge between Blue River View, the HDB is here, and the bridge between Admiralty and Sembawang hasn't been completed. So 858 only got amended to Sembawang Way, like Woodlands Avenue 7, Sembawang Way, and Canberra Road, Sembawang Road. It only got amended to do that. It only got amended later, not immediately. And then there is 859 as well. Route has always been the same in essence. It's just that over time it became a loop at Yishun, but this thing originated from Yishun. So it was Yishun Avenue 2, Yishun Avenue 5, and this thing had many buses last time. And then Sembawang Road, Canberra Road, Sembawang Vista, and then it would go clockwise. It was like Sun Plaza is here. It's like Sembawang Drive, Admiralty Road, Admiralty Drive, Sembawang Crescent, Sembawang Drive, and then back. So it was just like this. If you compare this thing to the current route, it'll be the current route is like much more windy, like this, like this. It actually goes Sembawang Crescent first, then Admiralty Drive, then it serves the mosque, then it comes down again, then like this. So yeah, it was kind of different. 860, I don't have much to say. Although I've already talked about this. The old 860 eventually became 865, then became 119. I mean, there was SBS 85 as well in the process, but I've already talked about this in the previous video. But yeah, that was its whole history. Then obviously this thing, uh, when 807 became a thing, this thing went to Yio Chu Kang, and that's pretty much it. I don't even have to talk about this. I don't have to talk about this one either because it's like so recent. This one, I have something to talk about this. So there was a service 994 that was almost introduced. It was meant to be like 871's route up till Bukit Batok West Avenue 5. Then it'll actually loop in the same way as current 945 and then go back to Tengah. But and then 871 was supposed to like duplicate 66 at Bukit Batok West, like wherever 66 currently applies. But it was supposed to be two different services, but they tried to do like the same thing. Not the same thing. It's like they decided to forego the 66 sector. They realized that okay, it's not worth sending a bus from the 66 unique sector like Bukit Batok West Avenue 8 and 6 to Tengah, so they decided not to do that, and then basically the quest to over here it got covered by 871, and then they obviously gave up on the 945 looping place because they're like, oh, if you want to change 945 then you just go and transfer to 945 at one of the bus stops. So yeah, this thing was almost introduced. Okay, based on comments, I always thought anything that started with 8 or 9 would have been introduced by like tips or something along those lines, but some people have been saying that like okay, maybe SBS would have gotten to operate these two, but yeah. Hey, but if it was SMRT control, I think let's say PTC control up till now, I think SMRT would have operated this one. So yeah. So you have 945 and then you have 994, but yeah, this was kind of like the whole history with it. Recent service, not gonna talk about it. And then 882. Okay, 882. The old 882 was actually I keep forgetting the route. It was like, what was it again? Was it like this? Because as you know, the Canberra and then inside Wellington and Montreal, this was a later edition. The original route was like outside here. So I thought it was like this, but I think this one has always been 82. I forgot this part, but yeah. 82, it used to be Canberra Link to Sembawang Road straight away. This one was literally introduced to cover 167's deleted sector. Then this one never really changed. The only change was like that roundabout thingy. And obviously they introduced this one. That's all. What other services are there? Okay, I think that's about it. Okay. Now let's talk about the older services. So this 902 was basically everything started from like Woodlands Center Road, Woodlands train checkpoint, that bus terminal, and then this one was like it looped at Street 32 or something along those lines. I cannot remember what that street name was, but yeah. Then Woodlands Avenue 3 and then back up. This one, it has like parts of 911 East Loop. So unfortunately, I kind of forgot the route, but it was like from Woodlands train checkpoint, then it'll go to Street 80, 182, 83 area, and then it'll loop there. So in essence, it was like this. And then 900, it was like this one's actually pretty simple. It's like just actually I'll just trace 900 here. So obviously like this, like this, like this, then like this. Back up. It was actually pretty simple. Just Woodland Street 11 loop. Then later it was extended to apply the entirety of Street 13. So you can see how this thing over here actually eventually became 911's west loop, and then the other one became 911's east loop. So yeah, and then 902 plus 905, they became 912. And obviously 904 and 906, they were later additions. Their routes didn't really change a lot. They became 913. I forgot 905's route, the one by Trans Island. So yeah, 903, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, that's pretty much about it. So 911, 912, 913, they were just like integrations. 920's route has always been like more or less the same, so I don't really have much to talk about it, except that what you call that stupid thing, that troll. Do even I forgot how the troll works already. If it was like this or like this. Basically it back then it didn't troll. Now it trolled. 921 I've explained before. 921 was basically 343. The only difference is that 921 starts from like the present day Bukit Panjang. Before there was an ITH, there was actually a bus terminal here, so it was like this: Jelebu Road, Bukit Panjang Road, Pending Road, and then Petir Road. And loop. And obviously 700 took over this sector. But technically it's not even, I wouldn't even say it's 700. It's like a shorter version of 973 in essence. So, and then there was 922 as well. So when it first got introduced, it was 30-minute frequencies. Like, okay, so Jelebu Road, Bukit Panjang Ring Road, Jelapang Road. This is the part that's different. Saujana Road, Fajar Road, Segar Road, anti-clockwise. Bukit Panjang Ring Road and then go back. And current 922 actually does this and then loops at Bangkit Road instead. But in the past, it was just like this. There were these two pairs of bus stops were created solely for 922 back then, before 972 became a thing. And then obviously there was only like I think 2 bus stops along here. The other side didn't have bus stops because it was like, oh, just loop at Bangkit and then because it was like the distance between Fajar Road and then Bangkit Road was like quite short, and then it was all hill here, right? So there was no real need to like put bus stops here. Before 922 got extended, of course. So back then there was just these 2 bus stops, and the older versions of Street Directory, Mighty Minds, are able to prove it. This one I don't really have to say about it anymore because I talk more about it because this thing is literally just this plus this. And then 926, I'm just gonna tell the route. Woodlands Regional Interchange, Woodlands Avenue 3, BKE, Mandai Lake Road, and then go back. This one is simple. This one though, quite special. It was Choa Chu Kang Loop, uh, Choa Chu Kang Avenue 4. Obviously, the other direction is just like 190. Choa Chu Kang Drive, Choa Chu Kang Drive, Teck Whye Avenue, Choa Chu Kang Road, Bukit Panjang Road. Yes, Bukit Panjang Road, BKE. BKE, Mandai Road, and Mandai Lake Road. So, in essence, this thing actually used to go inside Bukit Panjang, but right now it serves the industries at Woodlands Road. But just remember that once upon a time, 927 actually did go inside Bukit Panjang. This is what a lot of people don't know. Because they think 927 is purely Choa Chu Kang. I mean, that's correct, but like, when you look at the whole history aspect of it, not many people remember that 927 used to go inside Bukit Panjang, just cutting straight through to BKE. And then, obviously, there is nothing much to say about this, and this because it's all very recent. And speaking of recent, I just realized I completely forgot to talk about this to this. But again, this is very recent. You guys know the route. This one is also very recent. So yeah, I don't have to talk about all of these because you guys would remember it anyway, most of my audience. I've talked about 950, 951, and 952 already. This one became 180. Remember, before this thing, there was another previous generation of 180, which I already talked about that in like the previous video. Then this one, I talked about how this one is effectively 960E, but this one goes to Shenton Way, this one doesn't. This one starts at Marina Center, and then this one, it got scaped, and then the replacement was 700 from Woodlands to Shenton Way. But unfortunately, this thing didn't last, and then got truncated to Bukit Panjang. And 960 got introduced as a way to kind of compensate the lack of this and then the lack of 700 at Woodlands. So yeah, that was the thing. Yeah. But in essence, yes, this. Yeah, in essence, it's this. I talked about 960 already. 961, again, not much to talk about this except the fact that it. Remember, this service used to be what? Commonwealth, Clarke Quay, and then to Bukit Timah, and then to Bukit Panjang. Just like this. And somehow this thing, as 181, got extended to like to Marsiling terminal there, and then like this, like this, like the like this. Okay, actually, Beach Road, then Jalan Sultan, and Beach Road, Jalan Sultan in the other direction. Okay, Beach Road, Crawford Street, Northbridge Road, Beach Road, Crawford Street in one direction, Northbridge Road, Jalan Sultan in the other direction, and then obviously Kalang Baru, and yeah. Just remember that this red route was the original route, and I don't even know why 961 like S181 used to be like that. It's so stupid. 962 is an interesting one. The part in between Woodlands Avenue, okay, 7, 2, 5, 6, 7 is still the same. However, this thing used to go via Gambas Avenue, Sembawang Avenue, Sembawang Drive, and then it loops at Admiralty Street. I forgot the road name. I'm sorry, but yeah, I don't know. You can look at the history of this one in the wikis, but this one, no more express, extend to Woodlands. That's all. This one never really changed throughout the course of history, and neither did this one. Well, this one was supposed to extend to Buangkok, but then I don't know for what reason they didn't. It was because they didn't want to do like dual berths inside Sengkang, because there is demand inside Sengkang. So yeah. This one is another one whereby there was no major change except one. Okay, kind of major. I don't know how to say, but it used to be just BKE. Then in 2000s, I don't know if it was 6 or 7 or what, I completely forgot. It got amended to Bukit Panjang Road, Pending Road, Petir Road. So I lived through the time whereby there was no 966 inside Bukit Panjang. So when a lot of people tell me that 966 is an OG bus service from Bukit Panjang, I was like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. This one is new. I have nothing much to say about this. Well, this one, the Woodlands and Yishun sector is always the same. But over the course of time, TP bus stop was added, and then last time it was Express from Tampines all the way to Lentor Avenue. I'm not even joking, like back when TP bus stop never existed. Lentor Avenue was the last stop. Keep that in mind. Lentor Avenue, SLE, TPE, Tampines Avenue 12, there were no bus stops. Tampines Avenue 9, no bus stops. 7, no bus stops. Central 3, no bus stop. Central 1, no bus stop. And then into the interchange. Yep. No bus stops at all. I mean, because the road has been realigned now, but back then there weren't any bus stops in the old Tampines Avenue 12. Neither were there in Tampines Avenue 9. So this was old 969. Can you even recreate this? You need 299 because 299 is the only one that like. Oh, if you get a man A22, I think you could do stuff with it. But then you also need to get a man A22 here. So yeah. Then what more can I say? Adding bus stops, changing the route and the alignment. Yeah. But remember, Lanter Avenue to Tampines interchange was express. That is why a lot of people weren't happy that 969 is no longer that express. That is why 969, they had that stupid rule that you need to have another 969 inside Tampines interchange, otherwise your 969 isn't able to depart. There has to be one other 969 already parked inside Tampines, or at least entering Tampines interchange. It was such a dumb rule, but I can kind of understand why that was a thing, because Lanter Avenue all the way to Tampines interchange, it was express. So yeah. But then if you do that, you might as well do that to the other CDS service. I don't know, but yeah. This one, not much to say about it. Go read up on the history of this one, which used to be this. This one you guys remember. This one you guys also remember. In fact, a lot of these bus services, I don't even need to explain them because they are like so recent. They don't really even have massive changes. Okay, this one is just, it used to terminate at Bukit Panjang Bus Park or something along those lines, and then the last stop was at Upper Bukit Timah Road, and then it got converted into a loop. So yeah, that's all I can say about it. This one, well, it was called this. And this one, I know a lot of people will remember it looping at Upper Bukit Timah Road, right? Well, this thing... Okay, never mind, forget what I said. I got confused. Yes, it was 175 that looped at Upper Bukit Timah Road. That's the final one. All of these are like very, very recent. So yeah. I mean, this one, does anyone remember this one? And the fact that it used to go KGE instead of like Stagman Ring North 5. But yeah, that's all I can say about this. This one I already talked about it. From 160, how it became 980 in the previous video. These are all like pretty much new. Okay, this one's gonna renumber soon. This one used to loop at Keat Hong Close, then it got extended to loop at Bukit Panjang. This one, I already talked about it in a previous video. Yes, this is what I got confused with. This one was the one that went to Shenton Way. The previous variations of 175 did go to Shenton Way. But the one that was like handed over to Tips didn't go to Shenton Way. That was the part where I got confused. But the previous generations of 175 actually went to Shenton Way. So yeah. And then what else? Unfortunately, I don't know this route, but yeah. Okay, I just have a few more to go. This one didn't really change over time. This one, neither did it change over time. At most, it was just like what? It used to loop at Bukit Batok West Avenue 9, 6, then 8, but got extended to Choa Chu Kang and 8 up 308. This one, all very recent and stuff like that. So, nothing much to say about all of these. But the last bus service that I have, okay, before I even go into this, there is actually, there are actually all like the night owl, night rider services. There is like NR1 to NR22, all of them. And then there wasn't like 4 or 14 because, back then there was like the haha stuff regarding that number. So they didn't want to use that number. And then there was like SN10, SN20, SN30. And then for night owls, they have 1N all the way till 8N. And then besides these, they also had like, stuff like 16M, 65M, 85M, 89M. I think one of 85M eventually became 89M. Then there was like 162M that went to Yishun. Then there was 174M, which didn't serve Chin Road. It just went straight via Tongson Street. And then there was 181M to Choa Chu Kang as well. So yeah, there are all these like M services in the past that are not like short working trips or any that are not like modified trips. They are just midnight trips. The M stood for midnight. I probably missed out quite a few of them, but this is what I can remember from the top of my head because this video is unscripted, completely unscripted, but yeah. And then there was like you guys know 8, but then there was like 68 and 88. This one never got introduced. It was supposed to go Outram Park, Cantonment Road, New Road, and then go back. This one, it was like our Resorts World Sentosa, Resorts World Sentosa, Kampong Bahru Road, and then Chinatown, Utongson Street, all the way, High Street, St. Andrews Road, Coleman Street, and then it goes back. I forgot whether it went back using High Street and then High Street, South Bridge Road, New Road, or if it was just like New Bridge Road down. I forgot, but at least I tried. Actually, like recreating this one. It's just a matter of whether you actually use diverted 61 or you just use 190. Depends on what you link it up with. But I feel the diverted 61 is actually more interesting, so I chose that. But technically, because last time they didn't have a rule whereby the express service has to follow the parent route for most of them, for most of them. But well, all I can say is that back then you were actually allowed, the bus captain's own discretionary, they are allowed to take different routes. So I wouldn't be surprised if High Street, South Bridge Road, New Road was actually a thing, because nobody wants to deal with like the number of like traffic junctions in New Bridge Road, because New Bridge Road is like bi-direct. Utongson Street and New Bridge Road were effectively bi-directional together, whereas the traffic cycles for South Bridge Road and New Road were much faster. So I wouldn't be surprised if the bus captains actually chose that route instead. So yeah, this one is basically to Coleman Street. The bus stop that 130605 used to share. And then I think like these two plus some other bus service I don't remember actually went inside Armenian Street. But RWS 88 definitely didn't. But yeah, these were the bus services that used the Coleman Street bus stop. 130605 RWS 88, and in the past there was like 131 and then the old tips 950 as well. They all use Coleman Street. Yes. So there's at least 5 of them that I can name. There are probably more, but these 5 are the ones that stand out to me. Final one. Changi Airport, Jalan Koyam Air. I did not tell you to change to an arrow. God damn it. Changi Airport, uh, Airport Boulevard. Back then there was no T3. There was just T1 and T2. So it was just T1, T2, uh, Airport Boulevard, PIE, Jalan Koyam Air, meaning it'll go down together with like 23 and 966. It follows 966. Jalan Koyam Air, Jalan Topayo, which is PIE, and it'll just go all the way. Exits at Jalan Jurong Kecil, and then it goes, yeah, Jalan Jurong Kecil, Jalan Jurong Kecil, Jalan Anak Bukit, Upper Bukit Timah Road, Jalan Jurong Kecil again. From Jalan Jurong Kecil, Bukit Batok East Avenue 6, Bukit Batok Avenue 1, Bukit Batok Central, like this. So basically, the pair of bus stops along, I think 2 pairs of bus stops along Bukit Batok East Avenue 6, they used to have 969. Then when they used to have 989. Then when 989 was no longer a thing, these bus stops were left empty up till 990 finally used these bus stops. This one was like BSEP if I'm not wrong. I could be wrong, but yeah. And then from Bukit Batok Central onwards, Bukit Batok Central, West Avenue 2, West Avenue 5, serving Bukit Gombak, and then West Avenue 7, Bukit Batok Road, and Choa Chu Kang, yeah, Bukit Batok Road, Choa Chu Kang Road, Teck Whye Avenue, Choa Chu Kang Drive, Choa Chu Kang Loop. I think it's like that. Comparatively, this thing is actually quite well known amongst even like the seniors, because this one is like, many people would remember this route for sure. If I ask people to recall the routes here, here, and here, like at least attempt them, a lot of people wouldn't be able to do so. You know. So yeah, that's pretty much the end of this series. It was tiring, but I actually had fun making it. Okay, there was technically this, and this. One to Ang Mo Kio, one to Bedok, one to Clementi as well. And then there were other bus services like City Bus that use Volvo Super Olympian, Volvo B10TL, VSO, whatever you call it, C1, C2, C3, C3 being Little India, C2 being Chinatown, C1 being Orchard. And then now obviously City Bus. There's no more City Bus right now, so I think one of the open top double deckers they replaced City Bus. But yeah, SBS used to have this initiative, and then they wore different uniforms for it. Then over the course of time, there were also like different temporary MRT. Before MRT was constructed, there were all these like temporary shuttles, as well as like all the stadium direct services. I've done this one, I've done this one, but yeah, there is like a whole page that's dedicated to all these MRT bridging bus services. But bridging in this sense means like they aim to serve these areas before the MRT actually officially opens, like the different sectors of it. This one was like Choa Chu Kang to Woodlands or something along those lines, and then this one was like Clementi to Jurong East a little bit, which There was actually an old 76 that I forgot to talk about that was kind of similar to SS2. But yeah, not the current 76, but the old 76. That's one thing that I missed out in part 1 of this series. So yeah. The last thing I want to say is that when you want to like recall history or anything, just try your best not to memorize it in like a textbook fashion, because you wouldn't have fun with it and you would just end up looking like a robot.